I'm Hillary Mulick and welcome back to another episode on my YouTube channel. I am a destination wedding photographer based in North Carolina, and here on my channel you'll find education for photographers, including business, marketing, all things digital and film photography, as well as a peek into my personal life. Before we get started with today's topic, I have a free guide down in the description for you. It's how to get 10 storytelling photos with just one pose. It's my secret on how I tell a story through my images and also give a variety of images to all my clients without moving them around constantly. It helps keep them very relaxed and comfortable throughout the session, so make sure to click that link in the description and get the guide. So today's topic is all about pricing pages. I recently had another photographer slide into my DMs asking for help on their pricing page that they send their clients. They said they felt like there were things missing and some things that could be improved upon because they weren't getting as many bookings as they thought they would. So I looked through the whole pricing page and I realized that there is some very key things that are missing in a lot of people's pricing pages. If you've watched previous videos of mine, you know that I'm a huge advocate of having a pricing page that it's kind of a hidden page through your website, that anyone who inquires with you, you can just send them to this website link, and that's where all of your pricing and information is. Gone are the days of PDFs because they are not mobile friendly, they're hard to download, and you're just not going to get as many bookings with them. So I highly recommend, if you don't already have a pricing page on your website, creating one. So today I have 5 tips for you on how to improve your pricing page, what might be missing from your pricing page. And the first thing is I want you to treat your pricing page like a consultation. Because of COVID and just people with busy schedules and not being able to get together in person anymore, and doing a lot of things over video chat, or even not even having time to do that, I like to treat my pricing page as if it were in place of an in-person consultation. So I include lots of information, links, photos, videos of myself, because I want them to look through my pricing page and feel like they're sitting down across the table from me and talking to me one-on-one, asking me questions, asking me about myself and my journey in photography, asking about packages and just all the things on the experience that I give my wedding couples. So when you are designing your pricing page, I want you to keep that in mind. So think about if a client were sitting across the desk from you and how you would start that conversation. Think about the questions that they might ask or the things that you want to ask them, and try and incorporate all those elements into your pricing page. And I promise that by doing this, they are going to get a really good sense on what it would be like working with you, your personality, and they're going to be that much more excited to book with you. So tip number 1, treat your whole pricing page as if it were an in-person or video chat consultation. So the second tip on your pricing page, this is going to be one of the first things at the top of your page, is an introduction about yourself. And I don't want this to be a copy and paste thing of what you have in your About Me section on your website. Likely they've already gone through and read all that. They have a sense on who you are, but I want you to still introduce yourself and just give a couple paragraphs on what your process is as a wedding photographer, your style, and what you do to make this a really amazing experience for your clients. I want them to read through this and just get a real sense on what you are like as a photographer, how you are working with your clients, and what you can do to make this experience for them just as amazing as possible. So I think in my section, I talk about my style of photography. It's very romantic and timeless and classic. I talk about just things that I do for my clients on the wedding day, how much I love weddings. And then at the very end, I think I do include just a couple little tidbits about me. I think I talk about my dog Boris, that I like to play board games in my free time, and that I like reading science fiction novels. So those are just like a couple things that I included about me that weren't necessarily about photography, but I'm not going to go in depth on just all things about me like I do in my About Me section on my website. But you still want to introduce yourself. Another thing I want you to include in this section is a video of you talking to the camera like I'm doing now, or you can do it on your phone. Just make it super easy, super simple. That's something that you can upload to YouTube and just put the embedded link into your pricing page so that they can see you speaking to them. Because again, going back to if we are thinking about this pricing page as an in-person consultation, you want them to see your face, see how you talk, see how you interact, so that they can get a sense on who you are as a person, and just get a feel of what it would be like working with you. So in your About Me section, include lots of things about you as a photographer, what you can do for them to make their wedding experience amazing, and make sure to include all of this in a video as well. The next thing I want you to include in your pricing page is a section talking all about your process of wedding photography. And I want you to include this in both text and in a video. Video marketing is really huge now, and people love videos. And let me tell you, if you include videos in your pricing page and throughout your website, you're going to get more people interested in you because they're going to get a good sense on who you are rather than just looking at a photo of you. So make sure to include all of this in a video as well. But I want you to go through your whole photography experience, client experience from beginning to end, so that they know what it would be like working with you from beginning to end. So for me, in my process video, I talk about right after booking, I like to get their engagement session on the calendar right away, and what that process is like, and how I help them plan outfits through my wedding planning guide that I send them. How I deliver images. I talk about how I send them a questionnaire a few months before their wedding to get all of their information, and how that's going to help me be better prepared and help them feel a lot more relaxed on their wedding day, knowing that everything's taken care of ahead of time. I talk about what the process is like after their wedding day, sneak peek photos, how I send their full gallery, how I design their album. I just go through the whole client process so that they can get a sense on beginning to end what the experience is going to be like working with me. So make sure to include that in your pricing page as well. All right, so the next thing I want you to include in your pricing page is an FAQ section. So just listing questions that you might get in in-person consultations. If a couple were sitting across the table from you, what are some questions that they generally ask you? Do they ask you how many images that they're going to get, or if you're going to help them with posing? Just any questions that you get frequently from clients, I want you to include them in this section. Another thing that could be a bonus to include in this section is just little ways that make you different from other photographers. I actually have my FAQ section in my pricing page labeled how I'm different from all the other photographers you're talking to, and I think that really grabs their attention. And I talk about things like my wedding planning guide, my pre-wedding questionnaire, how I'm really down to earth, and they can read that because I have a lot of reviews that say that I'm down to earth, how I'm super organized and super detail oriented. I just include all of these things in there in addition to some questions or some answers to questions that they might ask me, so that they can get a sense on how I'm going to make their wedding day so much better and so much more unique than another photographer that they might also be talking to. So that's just another tip of something you can include in your pricing page. So the last tip number 5 that I think is really important in including at the end of your pricing page is what to do next, how they can book you. I think a lot of photographers now, just at the end of their pricing page, they say, if you have any more questions, contact me, or let's set up a in-person or video chat or something like that. And really, I have the mindset that my pricing page is in place of a video chat or an in-person consult. I don't want them to go through my pricing page and have more questions for me. I want them to look through my pricing page and get a really good sense on who I am as a photographer, what experience I'm going to bring to them, what my process is, so that when they contact me again, they're going to be ready to book with a package because all the information was already right there. So what I do at the end of my pricing page is I have it listed as, I think it says how to reserve your session. or next steps, what you should do next or something like that. And it just talks about the whole booking process. And my booking process consists of them telling me what package they want to move forward with. I'm going to send them a proposal with the payments broken up into 3 parts. The first third is a retainer, so that all that's needed to officially book and reserve their wedding date is a signed proposal and an online retainer that they can pay online with their credit card. And then I tell them that once I receive both those things, I'm going to send over my wedding planning guide and get their engagement session date on the calendar. And that is what the next steps are. And then at the very end, if they do have any additional questions that I didn't answer in my pricing page, they're more than welcome to contact me. Or if they feel like they have a lot more questions and they need to set up a phone call or a video chat, they're more than welcome to do that as well. But I highly recommend, if you don't have this already, in your pricing page, including a section at the end that just tells them what the next steps are in order to reserve their wedding date. I want you to make the least amount of hoops possible for your potential clients in order to book you. So you don't want to just continue this back and forth emailing, because while you're doing that, they're likely talking to other photographers who are not making them jump through as many hoops, and they might just book those people because they're faster and more efficient. And we live in an age of Amazon where things get delivered to you in a day or two, and people treat booking vendors the same way. They want to get it done. They want to watch videos of you and they want to book you quickly. So include that option at the end of your pricing page on what those next steps are. So all they have to do is email you, tell them what package they want, and you can get them booked and get their retainer and their contract from them. All right, so those were my 5 tips on things that might be missing from your pricing page that you want to make sure that you think about and include. The first thing is making sure you're treating your pricing page as if it were an in-person consultation. And second thing, make an introduction video of yourself talking about who you are as a photographer and what you do to best serve your clients. Third thing is film another video and write a little blurb on what your whole client experience process is so that they can imagine themselves being a client of yours. The fourth thing is creating a section on most commonly asked questions, as well as including ways that you are different from other photographers. And then the fifth thing is listing out your whole booking process on what they need to do to reserve you for their wedding today. I hope all those things were helpful and that you enjoyed this video. Let me know how this works out in the comments below, and if you're able to get more bookings by making these minor changes to your pricing page. Also, make sure to grab that free guide in the description down below, and I'll see you again for another video next week.